It's Sunday, February 11th, 2018. Welcome, friends, to a brunch for the ears and a snack for the mind. It's time for Sunday Smorgasbord. Sunday Smorgasbord is a show I do every Sunday. It's just a mishmash of things that I want to talk about. And this week, we're going to talk about things that I'm excited for this week. I've got glasses on. The reason there's an eye twitch thing, and I'm hoping it covers it up, which it doesn't. I'd have to basically sit like this, and then you don't see it. But it's okay. I don't know why, so I can't feel it. I didn't notice it until I saw it in here, and it's just... So it might be annoying. It might be off-putting. I don't know. But so far, Sunday Smorgasbord has resulted in very few views, so we're not worried about it in the least right now. Okay. If it's a major health problem, I can't really tell. The eye is fine, everything, no blurred vision or nothing. But we're going to get into it real quick. We're going to talk about three things this week. Two of them I'm excited for. One of them I'm not really excited for. I'm just a little bit more concerned for this particular person. So let's go ahead and get into the first thing I'm very excited for. Dynasty Warriors 9. That's right, I'm a huge Dynasty Warriors fan. I can see the reflection in the thing there. I love the Dynasty Warriors series. I really do. I am a huge fan of it. The first one I ever played was Dynasty Warriors 2. Then I played 3 and 3 Extreme Legends. Now, 3 Extreme Legends was one of the pinnacles because I think Extreme Legends, they let you create bodyguards for your character. You could create a character and you could create bodyguards for the character. So it was like, well, that's kind of cool. So you would just, you'd name all your bodyguards, and you had like 8 of these things. It's like, I'm going to get rid of the glasses because there's way too many, there's like glares and things that are coming from this and coming from this and this. I have a lot of light in here because usually it's very dark. It's like, because I don't have overhead lighting, so I have to depend on lamps. In fact, I point a lamp over here this direction. I have to practically lay down a lamp. But I am excited for Dynasty Warriors 9. It's going to, Dynasty Warriors 3 was one of the pinnacles. Dynasty Warriors 4 was okay. Dynasty Warriors 5, I just did not like that game. Dynasty Warriors 6 was still not very good. And I was starting to fall out of love with the Dynasty Warriors series because I just felt it became stale and just repetitive and not fun. Then a buddy of mine had me play Warriors Orochi 2. And I don't know why. I guess it's because I hadn't played it for 4 or 5 years on a consistent level that I got back into it, and I haven't left it since. I went back and played Warriors Orochi 1. I played some of the Samurai Warriors games. Went back and tried to play Dynasty Warriors 6 again with no success. It's still not that fun of a game, and I don't know why. Then Dynasty Warriors 7 I had a ton of fun with. Dynasty Warriors 8 I had a ton of fun with. They came out with Warriors All-Stars here in America, and I'm still trying to get back into that one. But Dynasty Warriors 9 is an open world game now. So I'm real curious to see how that works out. So I'm very excited. I know that on Wednesday, when I do my Easy Gamer, I'm going to be talking about Dynasty Warriors 9 because I'm going to play it a lot on Tuesday. So it'll be stuck in my head, so I'm going to be talking about it. In fact, Tuesday's nostalgia trip, and I may do Dynasty Warriors games I've played in the past just because, I'm going to be excited about Dynasty Warriors. Excited. Now, the Daytona 500 is coming up. So we're going to be doing some qualifying, some Daytona duels. I'm a NASCAR fan, I admit it. Martin Truex Jr. winning the championship last year was cool because Barney Visser's team is based right here in Colorado. Furniture Row Racing is based here in Colorado. So it was very exciting for the NASCAR fans that are here that one of our very own won. Now, Martin Truex Jr. is from, I think, New Jersey. So he's not like the driver is not ours. But Barney Visser, he bases the team here. And every other team is based out in North Carolina. He bases his team here. And, he pays the extra expense to go back and forth to most of these southern tracks. But I think he also realizes there are tracks in California, Texas, Kansas has a track. There's actually few tracks in California. I'm trying to think of some of the other states in the area that they kind of use now for racetracks. But everything is not just based down south anymore. Most of it still is, you still have Daytona and Talladega and, Darlington and Charlotte. And, most of your tracks are still based out there. But there have been a lot more races that have moved west. I mean, you've got, I think, three races in California. You got 2 races in Texas. You got 2 races in Kansas. You got I think 2 races in Arizona. So there's a lot of movement this direction. So the NASCAR, but he's kept his team here, and his team won the championship. I'm sure nobody was picking Martin Truex Jr. to win the championship last year, but they did, and it was very exciting for us. So I'm excited to see how the Daytona 500 is this year. It's not today. I think it's next week. So there's a lot of changes. There was even a little bit of talk that the Daytona 500, the Twin 185s or the Gatorade Duels, whatever they're calling them now, whoever's sponsoring these things, they're saying there might not be a lot of drama around them because at the last count that I saw, they only had 40 cars total that had showed up to Daytona, which means everybody that's there will make the race. So the duels, which usually have a little bit of tension because you're wondering who's going to go home, well, if only 40 cars show up, everybody wins. So everybody gets a cookie and some OJ, because everybody's going to get part of that Daytona 500 pie. But there was another team called BK Racing that they were having some financial legal troubles that I don't really understand very much, but they were saying if they worked those out, they would be like the 41st team at least that would get there. So that would bring the field up to a full, that would at least bring the field to 41, and there would at least be the drama of one person's going home, which, to me, that's just sad. It's like you got make room for the 41st car. At this point, there's no reason to make somebody go home if you only have 41 cars. But so I don't know how invested. I mean, last they said they had till yesterday to get more cars in there in the garage to be eligible. So we'll see if that happened or not. But I am excited about the Daytona 500. I'm excited about the duels. Danica Patrick, I guess, is going to be in this race, but she's not racing the full season next year. I guess she's going to race like Indianapolis and Daytona, the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500. I mean, I don't know. She's pseudo-retired. I'll talk about Danica Patrick in another video at another time. But it's an interesting topic, and I wish I could have done it years ago. I wish I was on YouTube years ago to talk about it. I think I did have a video where I talked about Danica Patrick with some other people. But I'm excited for the Daytona, for Speed Weeks, basically. Let's get the NASCAR season going. I don't have my NFL right now, and the NBA's in that slow part of the year where everything is building up towards the playoffs, where a lot of guys are being rested, and you start getting people ready for the playoff run, because 16 teams are going to make the playoffs in the NBA. So those top 4 teams usually are pretty much guaranteed spots, and they'll rest some of their stars, and we'll see how the revamped Cleveland Cavaliers do. I think they're still going to win the East, but it's still one of those things where it's like, we're at a slow point. We're going to get into spring training next month for baseball, but NASCAR's about to give me a little bit of sports that I desperately need in that boring NBA part of the season, and MLB starting its season. So the last thing we're going to talk about real quick, and this is the one thing I've heard some just minor grumblings and mumblings. We'll call it the grumblings and mumblings, maybe mumbly grumblies. Heard a little bit of mumbly grumblies about how the Lakers behind the scenes are talking they may sit Lonzo Ball for the rest of the year, only to not risk the young man to more injury. I hope they're not going to pull a Philadelphia 76ers on here and essentially redshirt him the rest of this. Because he's still, to me, he had a chance to win Rookie of the Year. Now he has, he's going to sit the rest of the season. That's some of the grumblies that I'm hearing. I'm hoping it's not true. I'm hoping that this is not going to be one of those things. I'm hoping that we see him back sooner than later. But the injury didn't sound too severe, and it almost sounds like the Lakers, maybe the Lakers organization, because they basically traded away Clarkson, traded away Nance Jr., brought in Isaiah Thomas. They're almost considering this a throwaway year. And if you sit Lonzo Ball the rest of the year and you have Isaiah Thomas just kind of throwing up stuff all over the place, and you still have Kuzma and Ingram in there getting a little bit better, I don't know. It sounds a little bit more like the Lakers are going to tank the season maybe a little bit. I hope that's not the case. I want to see Lonzo fit in, or I want to see Lonzo get more seasoning before next season. But, I talked about it in another video where it's like if next year, having a better pick this year is not the worst thing in the world, because you can get another really good young player in there to put with Lonzo, Ingram, and Kuzma, and then you clear up a ton of money under the cap, and now you can maybe build this team within the next 5 years. It could be a championship contender with really good young players, and maybe you can draw Paul George in, and you can maybe convince LeBron James. It's like, look at how good my young players are. We picked up another really good young player because our team wasn't very good, and we ended up with like a top 5 or 6 pick. So now we have a top 5 or 6 pick again. We have a lot of, because the season got worse and people started passing the Lakers in the standings. So now we have a higher pick. Got another really good young player. We got some really good young players. We're going to bring in Paul George and now LeBron James. And yeah, that team could be pretty good. But yeah, a championship contender if LeBron James is on it. So I don't know. The rest of 2018... if you're a Lakers fan, it might be tough. Lonzo might be out, but I'm hoping that the mumbly grumblies I'm hearing, or the grumbly mumblies, are. I hope that I'm hearing wrong on that stuff. I'm hoping that he's going to be back at least to play a little bit more this season. But we've seen it lately. A lot of teams are kind of taking that. Just because these guys are coming into the league at such young ages that they're almost like, well, let's sit them a year and get them a little bit older. But they're not getting any experience. So they're sitting down doing nothing. They're a little bit older now, but it's like they have one more year of watching basketball. I don't know. I've watched a lot of basketball, but that doesn't mean I can go out on the court and I've seen a lot of basketball, so I must know how to do this, right? No. I know how to do it. I just can't do it because I can't jump and I can't shoot and I can't rebound and I'm only 6'1". That's like in the NBA. That makes me small. And it's like, and at 44 years old and 230 pounds, I'm, a couple times up and down the floor, it's like I'm going to need oxygen, and I could be playing at sea level, and I'm going to still need oxygen. So, let's not go nuts here. Let's let these kids play the games to get experience, because they say there's no better way to gain experience than to play. Let them play. Get them in there. Let Lonzo play some more of the season. Let him play with his teammates. I think the Lakers lost last night. Isaiah Thomas had a pretty good shooting night by what I saw. He was like 5 of 8. So, yeah, the little guy did something, but he just wasn't a good fit in Cleveland. So that's it for Sunday Smorgasbord. That's the kind of the few little topics I had to talk about. Couple of things I'm really excited about. The Dynasty Warriors 9 coming out, very excited. Daytona Speed Weeks, very excited. So there you go. With all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.